Dom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good as always.
LS, how are you? Like
Terrible.
look. What is the room? That room looks good, man.
The room's the new house. I don't know. The color layout of the apartment is blue and white. I didn't get to choose it, but yeah.
You gonna repaint?
No, we're not allowed to. Yeah.
But they painted such a jarring color.
No. This isn't paint. This is hard. This is like a floor, but it's on a wall. I don't know how to describe it. Huh?
I think those are called walls.
No. What I mean is like what am I thinking of? It's not wallpaper. It's actual like rock. It's like material. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, I
it's not drywall. It's not drywall. You're saying it's not drywall.
No, it's not. It's not drywall. Apparently the walls in this house. I don't know. The landlord claimed that. I mean, I don't have a way to verify. I'm not an interior designer, but yeah, it's like actual like rocks as walls.
Yeah, no, I have the same thing where like my ceiling is like a floor, but on the roof. It's crazy.
What? God damn it. You know what I'm trying to say, man. Come on. Jesus.
Okay. All right. With that.
All
right. How was the move, Nick?
It was terrible. It was actually. Well, I mean, I didn't really partake in it. I get really bad. I get really bad anxiety during move periods. So normally, I pay movers or try to pay people to do the move, and then I stay away from it. But the whole process was like 4 or 5 days, I would say, until like everything was set up, and everything's still not set up. So it's still kind of stressful in that regard. Yeah.
Moving shit sucks. Like
it does.
You know, you have things organized, and then you have to unorganize it to reorganize it in bags and boxes. Maybe not bags, boxes, but boxes, and then you lose shit. And Joe, I'm not sure if you can pull it up, but on my Twitter, I was just simply moving my sound booth from one end to the other, and I'm renting this apartment, and there was a nail sticking out on the bottom of the sound booth, which I found out later. And the sound booth is too heavy to like tilt over. So theoretically, I could have like unscrewed everything or, you know, taken it apart, and I scraped my floors. Like, it's just super fucked.
Jesus.
So I'm about to become like a woods workman. People are like, use almonds or walnuts or I don't know, or wood filler. I don't know, but my security deposit is probably gone. It's pretty fucked, and it's like all over the place. Those are like 2 out of like the 20 scratches I have on different panels.
Did someone tell you how to fix it? Is there a way to fix it?
So when I went to the hardware store, I showed the guy a picture, and he said, "Ooh, that looks fucked."
Really? Okay.
But here's some wood filler if you want to try, and some sandpaper. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. My buddy that helped me move it was like, "I'm sorry, man." Like, what am I gonna say? It's your fault. You got to pay for this. No, like, yeah, that was a good one. Thank you very much to Tanner Time showing me how to fix things here. But yeah. So anyway, that's how I'm doing. I'm glad you guys are doing well. I'm glad you're moved in. And again, the blue floor walls look pretty good. Let's start over on the LCS. We had a couple of upsets. And it started with, right at the top, a little bit of life there by Team Liquid that started off the week with a pretty big win, gave some life to the team before they dropped. And I think that leads us to talking about these teams in that last 2 playoff spot conversation, 100 Thieves, CLG, TSM, and Team Liquid. With 3 games left, Super Week coming up, these teams are looking for a miracle to keep their playoff hopes alive. Dom, when we look at these squads, I think it's 2 conversations. One, who do you think will make it in? And 2, who do you think would have the biggest impact in playoffs?
Well, for one, I mean, this might be kind of controversial, but I think CLG is not going to make it. I think CLG, even though they started off, they're doing well. They're 7-6. But they have a really hard strength of schedule. CLG's last week is Golden Guardians, TL, and C9. And even though TL doesn't look the best, I still think that TL is a better team than CLG. TSM, like they do have two kind of hard games, like 100 Thieves and Fly is pretty difficult, but they play against Dig, which is, should be winnable for TSM with the way that they play. I think that 100 Thieves is actually in a pretty good spot, because all 7/8s are not equal, right? So there's a couple things that make 100 Thieves have a higher chance. Number one, they have the tiebreaker over TL. That is absolutely huge. They don't hold the tiebreaker versus CLG, but it's very likely that they don't end up with an even win-loss to CLG. They also play against TSM and IMT, so they have pretty easy strength of schedule. And I believe if they beat TSM, they will also have the tiebreaker over TSM. So if they beat TSM, they're almost guaranteed. I think it's really hard for everyone else to get to 8-8. And then the fact that they own multiple tiebreakers, I think will be massive for them going forward. So 100 Thieves, I think, are probably in. CLG, it's tough. I think TL will probably make it over TSM. I don't know. It's a little bit scary, but I mean, TL, they do play against Dig and CLG. They got a big win over Fly, which is really what they needed. So as long as TL is able to beat Dig and CLG, I think TL actually somehow gets in.
So what do you think out of these 4 squads? Who do you think squeezes in?
I mean, I think I think Team Liquid should be the one that squeezes it. Like everything that Dom is saying, right, with the remaining schedules and everything. I mean, in terms of like what team, I mean, I would like, so not who I think, because I think it's just going to be TL. I think TL makes the most sense with the remaining schedules and the way that the matches are going to end up going. But I would also hope for TL to actually make it, just because I feel like with Team Liquid out of playoffs, I feel like a lot of storylines kind of suck, especially just with the humor that has been brought to us by this split with Team Liquid. But but also Squad is like my favorite thing to watch right now, so I need that to keep coming,
More so than the 100 Thieves comms after Dom has kind of given us that gift that letting us know it exists. All the shot calling issues.
I haven't heard what wait, there's what 100 Thieves comms are we talking about?
They have voice comms released. It's actually hilarious because what happens is like Double will make calls, but he'll make them in ways where it's like almost impossible for anyone to overrule the call, and it will just be like the worst call ever, and they'll lose the game instantly. It's hilarious. He could be like, go Baron, go guys, go Baron. Like he'll say it like that, and everyone's like, oh shit. If he's saying like go Baron, like of course we're gonna go Baron. He's like, he says it like it's the most obvious thing ever, and then they just 4-man go to Baron and lose the game instantly. Then afterwards, he's just staring at it, and you just hear Double be like, I guess I can end there. Like it's such good content, man. It's just like top tier content.
All right, it sounds like I have to watch these things because I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, this week, I assume that this week is going to be better because they won games, but like if you want some content, go into the last 2 games. It's like Closer just begging his team to be aggressive most of the time. He's like, guys, please just use, like if they walk up, just use spells. Like you can fight, guys, do damage, hit them. Like Closer's just begging his team to do something aggressive, and then it's just, everyone else just calling to back off.
Well, funny enough, the interview that I got, and is the first time I've actually had a professional conversation with Doublelift since I was at the LCS doing like the post-game interviews, was with Doublelift. And I brought that up. I brought up the whole, hey, your team's known as a team that, if they let you scale, you win. If they do anything proactive, you lose. And he brought up, I typed in, he said, if you type in, hey, chat GPT, how does 100 Thieves win? It would spit out all this generic stuff about being proactive and needing to play their game and trust. But they've been working on those types of things. And it's a very good interview about that kind of answer. It was like 22 minutes. So make sure to check that out on my YouTube channel. But it also lends the question, what changed for this squad? Other than the coach, what changed? Because this week they looked more proactive. They got Lee Sin for Closer, and then he played Viego. But even before that, Nuke Duck, who's now the head coach, was still the one doing the drafts. So what changed?
I mean, they just drafted things that are a lot easier to play. They're not putting Bjergsen on these like really insane playmaking champions like Gragas mid, or something that actually is new that he's not comfortable on, which is Asol. This week, they're putting people, they're like, Zyrakan, send Gragas. Okay, now we have like a top laner that's stable. We have a bot lane that's pretty stable. We have multiple ways to engage. We can disengage. We can just play the fight however the fight needs to be played instead of having to like play towards a team comp that they're not really accurately able to like decide on what the timings are or how to play it. So that's number one. Number two, they actually laned a lot better because they're not forcing themselves into situations where they have to like win lane with things that they're not naturally good at. With Zyrakan, it's just like, okay, if we go 50-50, then we're winning. We go into like a late game team fight, we'll probably be fine. And I don't think NA teams are good enough at playing things that will actually beat Zyrakan. Will people actually be able to pick comps that outrange Xayah and make Xayah useless in a game? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like this combo is going to run the LCS.
Zyrakan back, LS.
I mean, I agree with what Dom's saying that people aren't going to draft in. Well, I mean, this is the main problem with pro teams in general, right? Is they don't actually draft in response to what the opponents are drafting in real time. This is one of the biggest problems with drafting globally, and not just in LCS. But I agree with what he's saying. You're not going to get Ziggs ADC in bot lane, right? You're not going to get mages on supports because how many supports in LCS can actually properly play mages, right? I don't think. I mean. I think that Busio probably can play mages, but 100 Thieves won't let him. So like there's that, and we say that because Busio, one, former mid laner, but when he was playing in Champions Queue, he was like the only support that was doing really crazy high skill support picks. And now that he's on 100 Thieves, he's like a brain dead zombie. I made a joke when I was co-streaming this last week that like both him and Tenacity did the Ivern hovers, and I joked that it's like a fucking SOS signal. Like like something, you know, something's going on before they fucking lock in like Renekton and all this other stuff. But no, in reality, yeah, I agree with what Dom's saying, that there's just going to be certain champions that will never face punishment in certain regions. And I also think that Aurelion Sol is like that in North America as well. Aurelion Sol will never be punished in North America. So, you know, he's always just going to be a free pick.
Is there another pick, another champion that you want to see more of, Dom, as you've been scanning across the whole regions?
I just want to like look, when I watch an LCS game, if the mid laner just picks Victor, Azir, Talia, or something like that, I feel like the game is won 90% of the time. Like if you're playing Talia into Sylas, the Sylas is almost never going to win in North America. So I like the way that 100 Thieves have started to just change their drafts to just be things that make sense for their team. Like they're not going to win by just like lane, but like they're not going to be a team that drafts like a prio mid lane, a prio bot lane. They like play to like control enemy red 3 minutes into the game. They're invading. They have these super calculated plays that are just, you know, undefensible. If the other team drafts things that are losing, they're not going to play like that. So what do they need? They need easy combos. They need lots of CC. You know, there's something that we talk about when I have treats on my streams, which is CC score, which is something that IG used to care about a lot. In like season 8, they talked about a CC score. So every single champion has a certain amount of CC, and you need a team comp with a certain CC score, like have a certain amount of CC to make the comp playable. They refuse to play comps that don't have a certain amount of CC on it. And I feel like this has just always been something that's been really OP in North America. So if you're drafting Gragas, that champion has CC. Like Viego would probably not have a high CC score. It's got 1 mini CC. So, okay, if you're drafting Viego for closer, who's kind of your carry player on this team, then you need CC other places. Talia mid, Rakan, like even Xayah has some CC, and you have enough like playmaking tools in your comp that you can actually do what you want to do on the map. So when somebody gets out of position, you can kill the person that's out of position instead of like having to chunk them out and then play like a dragon fight using an HP advantage. Those concepts are just way harder to execute. And yeah, like if you're playing things like Gragas, if you're playing Sion, you don't need to flank. You don't need to do any of these advanced concepts where you're clearing out pockets of vision or you're timing a flank TP and you have to have like people playing the fights in a really coordinated manner. I think that just play champions that will allow your players to shine. And if you're a team that scales and you're a team that has decent mid to late game macro in the LCS, Talia, Victor, Azir, every game for Bjergsen, Zyrakan, every single time it's up. If not, some type of engage support. If they draft a ton of engage, play Renata. These types of comps. Give your top laner Gragas, give your top laner fucking Sion, give your top laner Cassante, whatever, it doesn't matter. Give closer Lisa and Viego. Boom. We've solved your draft. Now 100 Thieves is in playoffs.
I think one of those players that is bucking the trend is that Gory pulled out the Jace. That was pretty nice to watch against something that was a scaler, not in the same categories of the ones that you just said. Maple pulled out Viego, or not Viego, Vigar on that. It was kind of awkward, but it feels like TSM is trying to figure out how they want to play right now, because Boogie came on, he was playing dominant. Now we've seen a couple cracks in his game, hasn't been great. If he's falling behind, that means Solo's definitely going to be falling behind. What do we make of this TSM squad and their chances of sliding on in? Like, if they were to make it on in, we've talked about the solutions there for 100 Thieves. What is the solution here for TSM?
They have not many solutions, because they were the team that has been doing this from the beginning. Like, but they don't really have other options in their arsenal, and they don't have players that can do anything else. So I feel like TSM is just super limited. They have a very low ceiling as far as their skill goes, because they don't have players that are significantly better than their opponents in any lane, right? Like, what lane can they actually play through? What lane can they draft the winning lane? Maybe bot now with Wild Turtle. Wild Turtle's been playing pretty well. He's been playing better than I expected. Yeah. Maybe you could play some type of aggressive bot and win through that. He's been fine, but top lane is never going to draft. It's never going to win, like really win a hard scaling like skill matchup. It'll just be a tank every single time top. Maple is good at playing essentially the same champs as Bjergsen. He's the guy that started bringing out Talia. They got a bunch of free wins off that. Boogie's like hit or miss, but I just feel like this team is super limited because they don't have good enough lanes that a lot of times they're just going to have to come from behind. And if you're playing comps that need to get ahead and you're behind in the game, you just lose.
What do you think?
I mean, I think Dom hits the nail on it's an issue, right? We're agreeing on everything completely. But TSM, they start off the split. They're doing what Dom is talking about. That's actually how they score some of their early wins, and why they looked a lot better than other teams is the simplicity of their team compositions, and the fact that they're not trying to do anything absolutely extraordinary. And then obviously Wild Turtle has been looking really good since he's come in. So TSM, like, generally at the very beginning of all splits in all regions following any sort of breaks, you're always going to look at the teams that have the most camaraderie, or like the teams that have a clear discernible identity within their gameplay. They're always going to look better than teams that are trying to do a bunch of different shit. Especially like if those teams have like a lot of pressure or whatever. And I mean, the same rings true in LEC, it rings true in LCK. I mean, you see it every single time. Same thing was actually happening with Live Sandbox at the very beginning of LCK, right? And not rumors. I mean, it's not rumors. The statements come from like real people, but like there's no way to like verify them officially, right? But Live Sandbox were apparently the best LCK team in the scrims, and they were just ruining everyone. So I agree that TSM doesn't really have any other options, whereas like some of the other teams, like Team Liquid, for example, right? They do have options. It's just that it's obviously very random. It's like fucking, rolling a dice and then deciding what you're going to do. And I mean, if you don't believe me, you just watch the TL squad videos and the things that they say. So,
Yeah. From that, let's move on to CLG. It feels like they fit in the same camp here, LS, a team that had the camaraderie, had things together. They found a little bit of a boon with Aurelian Soul, and Palafox just scaling.
Aurelian, yeah.
How do you say it?
Aurelian.
Aurelian really? Soul? Wait,
Aurelian Soul.
Aurelian, okay.
You said Aurelian.
Yeah. Is that Aurelian Soul?
Aurelian.
Well, I mean, okay. No, Aurelian. Go for it.
No, it's fine, Degon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm not casting anytime.
Cerulean Soul over here.
Cerulean Soul. Just Aurelian Soul. We got fucking Atrox and Aurelian Soul.
Whoa.
We need
Atrox is correct
again, and then we're good.
Atrox is correct, okay?
Malma.
What's yours, Dom? Do you have one that you say weird?
Malma. Right now, I don't know how to... I'm debating on something. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should learn Oscarinini's name. The top laner for Fnatic. I don't know if it's worth
you mean
learning his name.
That's his name, by the way.
Oscarinar?
No. It's just Nar. His name's just Nar. For the remainder of the split, it's just Nar. Yeah.
Aren't we missing it?
Yeah, me and Selfmade named him last week, actually. So.
It should be Narscarini. There we go.
I mean, some people are calling him Oscarinant. because he's inting,
Aw.
or Oscar out instead of
No,
Oscar
but-
in
but-
because they
but-
want him to be out of the team. There's a couple
Who
options.
did what to where he's playing over Wonder?
Well, I
You know what I
don't think
mean?
Wonder wants to play. I don't think Wonder wants to play for the team.
Oh, well, maybe
I
not
think
anymore.
that's-
But did he originally make the decision? Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure, but I think that it says enough where you have multiple people on your team, like multiple, LEC greats like Wonder and Upset, like people that have been good for a fucking long time in your region, and they don't want to play for your team. What does that say? Like, what does that say about your management?
Well, it's weird that like Reckless wanted so badly to go back to Fnatic, and he was open about it. You know what I mean? That's weird.
Yep. Yeah, and then it's being reported that he wasn't even like a top 4 option for Fnatic, that they actually wanted Upset. What was it? It was Upset, Carzy. They
I
wanted
just
Carzy over
inspired Egon to
Reckless.
stand.
What else? What else did they have? It was
Hold on, is Egon
Carzy,
standing now?
Upset, Exakick. Who else? There was one more. There was apparently 4 above him. Remember 3.
Are those are the ones that he listed too?
Oh,
right?
Hans was the other one, but he obviously didn't go as well. So
Egon.
4 people didn't want to play for them. It is what it is.
I couldn't just let you stand up, walk in alpha on, walk on me. So I was
I'm
like,
on a
"Alright, I'll stand
treadmill."
up too. Yeah. Well, now I'm standing on a standing mat. Oh, here we go.
Leave me alone. I'm on a treadmill. It's
Hey,
very.
not for
it's
free.
very.
Not for free. Not for free, Joe.
Ah,
What are
shit!
you
Cover the
doing?
logo. Oh, fuck.
Holy!
Oh my god.
I swear they gave this to me for free. All right.
Wait, do you coach him from that setup, or do you use the chair?
No, I'm gonna start doing this, dude. I was down to, I had a photo on my Instagram, December like 10th or something like that. I was down to like 68 kilos and I had like 14.5%
photo?
body fat. Dude, I've ballooned back up. I'm back to like 76 or something. I don't know. It happens every time, every single split. I get so stressed from the schedule and the streaming that I just eat like complete garbage and my schedule falls apart and my sleep is shit. And I just lose complete control of my body.
It's just there's too much stuff to do. Like that, like you can't just stream 15 hours and then people are like, oh well, if you're streaming 15 hours and you only need 8 hours sleep, then you can use that extra hour to like work out. It's like,
well, yeah,
no one's
this
doing that
is
shit.
why people flame
That's
me
how it
like, why do
works.
I have a maid or why do I have a cook or why do I always order food? And I'm like, because it's more cost efficient.
Yeah, no,
Like-
100%.
What?
I don't think people understand that concept.
Yeah, I like if I can make a couple hundred streaming, right? When you combine all sources
a
of
couple $1
income.
million to stream, why would you not
Right.
just hire a maid?
Why would I cook my own
why would
food?
why would I not? Right. If I make let's say the arbitrary number is 300 an hour. Why would I not stream for an hour in order to make myself food instead of just have someone do it? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. That's just how it works.
I don't think people understand actually min-maxing your time like the way that you guys normally do. So
Yeah.
Uh,
I see
Yeah.
time as money in a way.
the last team we need to talk about min-maxing
Yeah.
because of sliding into playoffs is TL. You've been watching those squad videos. What do they need to do to close it out here, LS? And slide in.
Oh,
They're the ones
man.
that have the toughest route because they are 6 and 8.
I'm
No.
getting one guide in chat as we speak.
You're getting one
Continue.
guide?
Yeah, I'm getting
Oh,
one
geez.
guide as we speak.
Tell me
6
it,
and
tell me
9.
it, tell me it.
Okay, so somebody was saying, we both agreed on the same take, which is that 100 Thieves, they've like pretty much he said that my take of them drafting like Zyrakan and Gragas and like high CC score and easy to execute team comps was he said that was a shit take. He said shit take just right off the bat, and I said why? And then he waited 5 minutes and he said because that is exactly what 100 Thieves has been drafting and losing with, but then they just haven't been drafting that and losing with that. Like if you go back and you just look at their match history, that's like just factually incorrect. I actually
gonna
don't
do that
even
right
know
now,
how you
actually.
engage. Yeah,
gonna
just
do
go
that right
look
now.
at their previous drafts. What did they
that right
draft
now.
before that? Like
Hold on.
they're drafting like Caitlyn Lux. They drafted Caitlyn Lux with Gragas mid, which was a playmaker. The game before that they just fucking lost. The game before that was the one where they drafted the Aurelian Soul. Like they're
Yeah,
drafting,
but
like-
Aurelian Soul, they're against C9 too, so it's like
yeah. They drafted 3 losing lanes in that game. They drafted 3 losing lanes where they just couldn't play the fucking game and they just got absolutely obliterated. It's like they just weren't drafting the way that I was
they
saying they
won.
should draft.
Yeah, they won the game with Victor, which is really, I mean, that's pretty fucking simple, right? That team comp was really simple.
It's one of the 3
They did
champions,
lose the game with the super simple team comp that was the anyone. That one was really simple.
But that was against Flyquest, which is like they were winning that game.
Yeah,
that
just
was,
like C9, just like C9,
game,
right.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
yeah.
Compare that game that they played against Flyquest, where they're actually going even. This is like before Flyquest really started shitting the bed recently. Like they were just dominating the whole league. They're winning a game with the Annie Wukong versus Flyquest, and then Doublelift runs it down one time and in. Is that not a more winnable game than the game they played versus fucking, who was it? Was it CLG, where they drafted the Caitlyn Lux and they just got killed 4 times in lane by the Callista, and the whole game was just fucking absolutely obliterated from fucking 5 minutes in?
The only times where they've lost while having a more scaling draft is against like the top teams.
Yes.
That is the only time they've lost. They've won every other game when they've had the more scaling draft.
Exactly. The Cassante draft, what was it? The Cassante
Dude,
draft.
I fucking hate these people. I hate chatters like who you're talking about, and I hate Redditards that just, they don't care like about accuracy. But then they have no accountability because they're not us. And what I mean by us is us not being like you and me, but like anyone in the scene that has to make these statements is like part of their job. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyone, caster, pro player,
this
streamer.
Is the thing that triggers me about it. The thing that's most triggering is like when we're doing a talk show like this, you have to remember all of history on the fly, right?
It's tough.
So Degon's gonna throw something at me, and I'm gonna have to just spit out, oh, what was like 100 Thieves' last 4 drafts with some level of accuracy of who they played against, like what happened in the game, how the game occurred, what were the pivotal points where they ended up winning or losing the game, all that type of stuff. And then somebody will just come and they'll just have all the time in the world because they're watching the show. They'll have all the time in the world to come up with what their argument is to disprove you, and then they'll just say things that didn't happen. They'll just lie about like what actually happened. It's like, how can you sit there and you have all the tools to be doing this? You're not even on the fly. You get to pick and choose which arguments to dissect. But then you're just completely wrong about the fucking factual statements that you're putting out. It's so weird. All right, continue, Degon. Ellis wanted to hear what I got one guide on.
No worries. We just want to make that one guy feel special per episode. So there you go.
Oh, he's special.
He's special.
He is special.
Sorry, that was a little ASMR. All right. Cool. Well, out of those 4 teams, LS, who are the 2 that make it on in? Joe, can you get like a flat line and put it over the 2 that aren't going to make it in? Like
I think CLG and TSM don't make it.
Oh. All right, Joe, get it in there.
I mean, it's perfectly fine. Reggie's, By the way, what has Reggie been up to? Does he even tweet about the LoL team anymore?
Dude, he has no house, no car, and no clothes. What do you expect him to fucking do? Like, you think he has a computer? You think he can tweet? Gave it all when CLG outplaced them.
I think there it is. All right, that's as close of a flat line we're gonna get right there. We put it on the CLG and TSM one. For what it's worth, I think it's CLG has the most. I guess they have the hardest strength of schedule, but who has the best head-to-head records against everyone here? Dom, is it?
So
is it 100 Thieves?
So 100 Thieves has the winning. So if they beat TSM, then they have the winning head-to-head against both TL and TSM. If they tie TSM, they would have, and they lose to TSM, then they would have a tiebreak. 100 Thieves doesn't hold the tiebreak for CLG. So 100 Thieves is most scared about CLG randomly waking up and winning games, but CLG has an extremely hard schedule, so most likely like they shouldn't be competing with them. And the other thing is that since 100 Thieves actually won their one game, or they won both games last week, and they won their hard game versus Golden Guardians, they play against TSM and they also play against Immortals, which for my money, Immortals is the worst team in the league right now. So 100 Thieves versus Immortals, they should at least get to that win. I doubt that there's a world where, if 100 Thieves gets to 9 wins, I'm pretty sure they're just in. 9 wins should be good, given where everyone else is, especially considering that the top half is super dominant.
So, just looked up the rule set here for not 2-way ties, not 3-way ties, but 8.7 in the 2023 LCS rule set. Ties involving more than 3 teams. Mm-hmm. The teams will be randomly drawn into a single elimination bracket where teams play best of 1 matches throughout the tiebreaker. So it'll just be,
it's just completely random. So you could just have 100 Thieves versus TL in a best of 1.
Yeah.
For playoffs on one side, and then TSM versus CLG. What the fuck? How is that the rule?
because then it gets hard to calculate head to head versus strength of schedule for 4 teams. I think for 3 teams you can still do it, and they tier it based off of, you know, seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, and they'll play each other. But for 4 teams, I don't think you do that. It's the same thing in I forgot what sport it is, but when there's like a 4-way tie, like head to head goes out of the window.
I mean, they could just look. All I'm saying is they could just run like a 4-team Swiss bracket here, like where you just have like the losers play each other. That person gets eliminated, and then the winners of the winners play each other. The loser of that winners match plays the winner of the losers match. Like that could be probably a more fair way. No.
Well, so it's 4 teams will randomly be drawn. It's so the seeding is random, but I think that's what they're doing. I think they are doing. The winners will.
So it is
winners,
Swiss. Okay.
It is Swiss. It is Swiss. But
wait, why did you just say it was a Swiss sport? Wait, what?
Because they didn't say Swiss on there. I was reading on the fly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because as you just noted, like 3 minutes ago, it's hard to get all the facts at the same time
True,
remember
okay.
everything on the run. All right.
All right. Swiss is good.
Yeah,
Swiss is good then.
So it'll be Swiss, but there's just no seating.
Right.
You know, just go into it. Okay. Other news that happened this week, because this episode's a little shorter, we got to keep it moving. EG, JoJo was out, not on stage, so they played 4 guys with JoJo playing from home, and he got pretty dunked. It was one of the bad JoJo games. And then the next day, JoJo's out, and our boy coming back with 119 out of the 120 stars from Super Mario 64, rises from the ashes to get that last gold star from Dom. Ryoma comes into the mid lane and has a performance that leads to a win. How much of it was him? How much of it was not? We'll leave that up to our gold star awarder, Dom, for Ryoma. So what'd you make of Ryoma's performance here? What'd you make of EG this week in general? And then LS will go to you afterwards.
Perfect. I mean, I think JoJo should be looking for a new job. He should probably be removed from the team immediately after that performance from Tommy. I want to see Tommy just back in playoffs. I want to see him go to Worlds. I want to see him at MSI. I want to see Tommy just run the rest of the world. I'm the biggest Tommy fan now.
He's ready. You've said this whole time he was just put in the LCS too early, but now maybe it's Tommy time?
Yeah. No, it's the import debuff. It's because he was technically an import when he started, which was the whole thing that I was against, but now he's no longer an import. He's just an NA player, and you can see how that's changed his mindset, and now he's just a better player.
Got it. LS, just a bump in the road here for EG, or is this, you know, what do you make of this move?
I mean, I think Ryoma's play is I mean, JoJo should come back, man. Come on, like let's be a little bit honest here. Like when I was watching it on, like people need to go back and watch that game because somehow Ryoma found a way to lose lane in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, and then he TP'd and then he lost lane again to.
And then he lost lane again. Yes, yes. And if it wasn't for Palafox cosplaying Gragas, like in the sense that, like, dude, his R's looked like he must have been inebriated. Like the mechanics from him on you know what I mean? He was something was going on, man. He was messing up so many mechanics on Gragas that just cost them so many things.
No one could play Gragas. No one could play Gragas in this region.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It was the Dignitas loss hangover, I think. And also he's been on Aurelion Soul duty for the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just sit there and hit him with the I don't know the name of the spell. I just know that the pros call it the suck, and then you just you know, just go back to lane. So a little bit of hangover there. But EG, they get the win, and I think it was a much needed win as well. Just some insight. I had the chance to chat with Someday on day 1. On day 2, none of them played on stage, and they didn't do interviews remote. So hopefully that team will be able to bounce back and JoJo is healthy moving forward. But I just wanted to give that shout out to Ryoma. It's always good to get a little bit of redemption after you have a tough showing to come back. This year has been the year of Renaissance, Dom, when you getting back on the Rift.
I don't know, bro. I think it's time with the shit that I've been seeing, with some of the Gragas combos I've been seeing. I think it's time to fucking brush off the old Gragas and fucking get back in there. I could play for. Actually, no, 100 Thieves, that'd be too many boomers. What would be the perfect team for me right now? Fuck it, bro. I'll play on Dignitas. It'll be me and Jensen. We won't do anything. We'll just be 100 Thieves again. I'll play Wukong, scale for 20 minutes, and then engage once, and we'll win. Perfect.
This is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where would you be filling in, LS? At support? At jungle? At mid?
Yeah, exactly.
If I have to play with the fucking Ivor in mid, I will leave the fucking game. All right.
That just means you're enabled to carry, dude. You can play Diego.
Tom, you get to play Udyr and Jarvan and shit. Aren't you excited?
Do you want a bunch of fucking boomers on one team? Isn't that the problem with 100 Thieves? You got too many boomers. You need some young kids with some mechanics. You need a couple like smart old guys, and then you need like a couple young kids with some mechanics to carry the game.
Oh my god.
Well,
wait, that's what 100 Thieves are trying to do, no? They have Busio,
no, that's
Tenacity.
what Dignitas is trying to do.
Yeah,
right?
but then they
100
don't.
Thieves is doing it better.
But the problem is they want their carry players to be just fucking, tank bots. They're like, Tenacity, I know you're really good on like Aurelia and Fiora and these types of champions, and like you played that game and you won lane with it, whatever, but we need a fucking frontline here. Play Gragas, play some Sion, Cassante, just frontline for the team, play your boomer champs, and yeah, I mean, it's might as well just be what Koi is doing with Shigenda right now. A lot of teams just don't like having to play around their top laner.
Here you go. Let's just list those top lane champs. Cassante, Cho'Gath, Sion, Gnar, Sion, Cassante, Gragas, Renekton. There's a Renekton. That was by Licorice. Renekton also by Armut and Gragas.
Sion,
Cho'Gath, Sion, Cassante. It's just been tanks and boring up there. Sucks.
Yeah. That's what it is.
All right, well, if we're speaking of top, let's go to the top two teams now. Cloud9 on a 5-game winning streak. Flyquest, they dip in form. They've lost now 2 games in the last 2 weeks. Is that right? Yeah, they lost 2 games the last 2 weeks, the one to EG, and now.
I mean, the issue with Flyquest is really, I mean, it's very obvious. Like their drafts do not make sense in real time. It's almost ironic watching it like live unfold. They pick the word. It's legitimately like watching like T1. I mean, that's the best comparison that I can give it. They set themselves up for disaster like from the get-go. And then obviously right now there's like, I was reading a lot of the Reddit comments, right, claiming that like Flyquest are only not benching Ayla, I don't even know how to say it, for Winsome, just because it would look so bad after the whole Vulcan stuff, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, no, it looked much better to just play with somebody who's not as good and then just fucking lose the split. True. Well,
I'm actually at this point though, I am actually surprised.
I love LCS.
that Winsome is not used yet again.
Yeah. I think they wanted to give him time, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the trigger. Maybe something I can ask.
What are they gonna do? What? Oh, you mean on the move? Oh shit, no. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna. Yeah, Jesus.
Nah.
I thought they were gonna take him out back. I thought it was gonna be Old Yeller. Jesus. It's all good, guys.
Today's been a good one, man. The you know what it is, Dom? It's the in America for our European fans, we have daylight savings time. It's the last one. So it hit us on Saturday night into Sunday. There was no 2 a.m. It went from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. And I think it's just got us up a little earlier than usual, and we're ready to go now when the show comes on. Because Dom's been feisty, man.
I wake up at the same fucking godforsaken time. It's absolutely dreadful. The 3 a.m. wake up. Oh my god. I did it today for OMG. They had the schedule wrong. I thought I was gonna get like 2 extra hours of sleep. I woke up just in case. Thought OMG was playing, had to watch them get absolutely fucking railed. Had to watch Cream play fucking Victor after they banned 3 mid laners. It's been terrible.
Okay, so we'll blame OMG for it.
Yes. Blame them.
Winsome better player right now than Ayla, and you'd rather play Winsome than let Ayla, I guess, get some games in because he was stuck in Visa Hell, Dom?
I mean, I don't even know if Winsome's better than Ayla. The team just plays better with Winsome than they do with Ayla. Like, I feel like everyone else is playing mechanically worse, which is weird because at the beginning of the split, it looked like Prince was by far the best player in NA. I mean, people were having the conversation like 6 games in on was he the best import we've ever seen? Like that. Those are some of the conversations we're having.
This is true. I fed into that. That was me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that. I mean, I think he definitely had one of the best opening 6 games that we've ever seen. You know, it was definitely up there. But now you look at him play, and he's just like, he's mechanically fumbling things that he wasn't fumbling before. And then Vikla, just, I don't know what happened to Vikla. Like, it's almost like he got bored originally, and then now he's like shit. Am I
That's
like,
what
not
happens
good
to
anymore?
all. No, I mean, I've described it even in yesteryears of being on Facecheck and stuff. NA is an infection. It's the culture. It is. It's an infection. It's a disease.
He's got
Like, I don't, Degon's
He's
fucking
American,
laughing, but this is the
okay.
exact terminology that I've used before. Is that
I've said that before.
it takes something special to like manage to resist it and then remain in top form. I mean, look at Summit even. Like I mean, Summit came to NA. He was like on top of his form. I would have bet you anything that in summer he would have looked like garbage if he was still with C9.
He looked fine.
Or that
in
he would have,
LPL.
huh?
He looked fine in LPL.
He got out,
Against
dude. He
better
got back.
players.
He got back to the low ping. He got back to the high intensity scrims, not the for fun ones. Like,
Nice.
NA is like fucking. Look, dude. I'm on an MTG kick right now. Okay, NA is glistening oil. All right, maybe like some viewers might understand what I mean.
That's such a deep cut, LS. I don't know what that means.
Jesus,
What does
man.
that mean?
What? Wait, what?
I don't. That's such a deep cut. I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? That's really niche, dude. I assume it's not
Some
good.
people will
Some
get it.
sort of oil is not good. All right. Well, if you get it, let me know. I don't understand that one. Okay. I do like the Summit comparison. It's like, doctor, he's cured, but now he's got it for a second case of the NA.
Got out, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what you say. I mean, you have people that are literally world champions, some of the best players in the world, like Facecheck, and then they just don't look good in NA after. I mean, before his first game, but something must have happened, right, LS?
Sheesh.
I'm so sorry. The way that you snuck
Why
that
are
one
you
in there.
laughing, man?
I thought you were going one direction, and then like, yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, Vikla wasn't the reason why they lost against TL. That was Prince. That was Prince and Ayla getting bodied by Core and Jan.
But I mean, that's like, it's so weird to see Prince mechanically misplay early on in that lane. Like, Spica is there to cover the gank, and Prince just doesn't use his summoners properly and dies for no reason. That's crazy. Like, that is not the guy that we were seeing earlier on. The guy that we were seeing earlier on was like mechanically perfect.
That's true. It was.
Well, I mean, then it's
Perfection.
like his confidence in his own mechanics is also worse than it was before. Like before, if you threw a max range thresh hook at him, for example, he would be wiggling on the edge of it and he would just sidestep it every single time. He would never be using his Lucian dash to dodge a thresh hook. A max range thresh hook? No, of course he's not getting hit by that shit. Now he sees the thresh hook, he's dashing it. Because he's not even confident in his ability to just sidestep it. Max range. Something happened, man. It's crazy.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the NA ping. That sounds like solo queue ping getting in the way now.
Shit.
In one of the videos, that is the biggest thing that they brought up. I said, hey, what's one of the? I thought he was gonna say, the weather is great. Well, what was one of the biggest differences between Korea and NA? And he's like, the ping, the practice environment. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That sucks. How about that game from Spica though in Against Immortals, the Vi game? He was just when he came up to do the interview afterwards, he said that draft was so unplayable, but he constantly found ways to get into the back line and cause chaos again for a Prince that wasn't playing on the top end, and allowed Vikla on the RA to clean things up against Immortals. But it was a close game for the longest time there, and I think that speaks volumes to the year that he's having and ways that Flyquest can succeed even when their stars are struggling a little bit here. LS.
I mean, Flyquest. The thing for Flyquest and the remaining splits, and like the thing that Spica ends up saying about like the draft, like Flyquest still has insane potential to just like run the league, right? In general.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think like C9 with Eminus is really exciting in that I think that he just retains that confidence that he ends up having. And I think that it's very noticeable in mid lane. Like, I don't think that we're actually ever going to see Diplex again. which is just the unfortunate reality. But Flyquest, I don't know. Maybe there is just a shift entirely in practice with Ayla there compared to Winsome. And maybe stuff is going on with that. But it's very awkward because Flyquest drafts are very consistently awfully losing. And so how do they actually look versus top teams when they have either even or winning drafts?
I mean, they look pretty fucking bad when we've seen the last time they played against EG and C9. I mean, I don't think they're favorites to win the league anymore. I thought that,
right,
through the first 9 games, it looked like they were clearly going to win the league. And now I would say that C9 looks like they'll probably just win, because if you look at the trajectory of Flyquest, they're not getting any better. They've been actually getting worse as time goes on, which is crazy. That's really insane. Somehow they practice more and they get worse and worse and worse. You'd hope that the trajectory of a team would be like, okay, they get together, they have high mechanical skill level, but they don't really know how each other want to play situations. And then as time would go on, they would figure out how to play these situations. Like when do they want to, turn off an objective? When do they want to finish an objective and have somebody zone? Just all the different decisions that you have to make. I mean, obviously it's going to be game specific, but you'll kind of understand what other people want to do, and you'll get on the same page, obviously, as people play more together. But it's the opposite. They're just getting worse.
This is a whole segment. I know they do it on the LCS, but imitation is a great form of flattery or whatever it is. So it's how does it go in my head? It goes struggling with mechanics, bad communication, terrible drafts, classic case of the NA. It's happening. It's happening to Flyquest.
Is there any type of treatment, or is it just so you're struggling with it? Oh well, then you have. Well,
isn't it like unironically funny though that?
Yes, Dr. LS, what's the solution? They only have 2 weeks left. What can they do?
God damn, bro, that's tough.
No, but I mean, look at Summit in LPL, and now look at him when he's back in NA. Look at Hansama on Team Liquid. Look at Hansama on G2. Okay, like the solution is to leave. Okay, like you're gonna need a fucking Geiger meter when you end up going to LCS. Like, what is the radiation levels? Like, who actually knows? Does wildlife grow there? Like, I don't. Is the reason that Flyquest is planting so many fucking trees and shit is because they know something we don't? Like, I don't know.
Probably. But Dr. LS, apparently they can't afford a move. What else can they do?
Shit.
Aren't we supposed to save him, man? Is it
I'm not sure.
Job to save him?
I'm not sure.
All right. Let's go to the flip side here on Cloud9. We spent a lot of time talking about Flyquest. Cloud9 here, Dom. Going in the right direction, still learning with M&S. Berserker and Sven seem pretty competent and not competent, on the way up. And then Sven still showing off anti-mechanics never die. Like, this feels like now the number one team moving forward.
Yeah, they look like the number one team. I'm a little bit worried about Sven on engaged supports. It just doesn't look right to me yet. Like,
hey man, he had a 4-man stun. The 4-man anti-stun. Like,
did you see how long it took him to cast that stun?
It took him a long. They were 4v5 though. They were 4v5.
He flashed in and he paused for a second, looked at them, and then he's like, "I think I'll stun now." Like, it's not that nap engage that you want. Like, when you see somebody who's really on form, like when you see Carrier play Nautilus, for example, it's like that, he's calling we're going now. Hook one guy, R flash another guy, we're in there. Engage. Somebody's dead. We don't see that.
That's true.
I mean, I think that Cloud9, I mean, they're better than they were in summer in some respects, but they're worse in others. I think the meta is worse for them than it was previously, but their players are better. I think M&S is just better than Jensen. So
what do you mean you think? It's not even, it's like Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dom's going big on our Facecheck all-in bets later on, just in case you didn't know. That was one of them.
Hey, I'm 4-1 on those bets. Look, I'm fucking printing over here on this show. All right,
dude, I'm 1-8 with forced bets, man. I can't anymore. It's fucking cursed.
Sorry, Cloud9 fans. We're gonna just skip on over that. If you want more insight on Sven and engaged supports and stuff, I did an interview with him, and I have an interview with Mithy coming out later this week. So if you want more insight, you can check it out there. Let's go to Facecheck all in, as LEC is coming up very soon. So we've got to get our boys primed for that. All right, let's pull it on up. Thanks to our friends over at Esports Bet. Make sure to look at all the rules and regulations for your location, state, country, territory on betting safely. So make sure to go ahead and do that. All right, who wants to go first? Dom,
I'll go
LS?
first. I'm gonna fucking
Dom.
take. All right, how the fuck? I'm looking at the betting site right now. How the fuck does C9 have higher odds than Flyquest? How is C9 considered underdogs to Flyquest? Hell no. Putting it on C9.
There it is. That's
Yeah, I mean that was yeah.
That was
I would
Underdogs. They're underdogs. How are they underdogs? Have we been watching the same games? I don't know. Maybe they lose. Maybe they lose. I'm just taking that. That's just the one that sticks out immediately. I'm not going to question it. C9 is underdogs to Flyquest on the betting site. I think C9 is going to win. I bet C9.
free money. What else you got here, LS? You got
I mean,
one
I
for
would
us?
have the same one for Dom. I would have the same one as Dom. I mean, the odds just make the most sense, especially because C9 are actually favorites to win. So it doesn't make any sense. C9 are like, I feel like these odds they should be giving like 1.3 for C9. If anyone's been watching like
5 maybe like
yeah, 1.3, 1.5, something like a lot worse than it is right now. This is way too high for C9.
Peeking around here. Is that really the best one? I mean, we have a lot of these like put up or shut up games.
I think there's other good ones. Like 100 Thieves versus TSM, they're
Yep.
1.7. Like where I think that they're big favorites to beat TSM. Like just if you think about stylistically, 100 Thieves and TSM, they're I think
Dude,
at this point they're going
can I-
to play the same style and 100 Thieves just has better players.
Can I just fucking say that, by the way, like any team not being under 1.09 versus Dig is like I don't like any team over 1.1 versus Dig
Dude,
is
they
like
beat CLG, man. I
oh
farmed
okay.
that. Dude,
Okay.
I've been farming LCS like crazy. I've been farming LCS. I lose money in LCK though. Those motherfuckers. I don't know what's going on over there.
I'm trying to see if there's any others. I guess if you like I don't really see another one that I like that I'm like, maybe like EG over 100 Thieves here. If you like a dog and you want an opportunity, EG might be trending the wrong way. And so maybe you could take 100 Thieves here, 2.5 to 1.5.
I think that's
Thieves
pretty
seem to be
decent.
scaling up. Yeah.
That's a decent dog.
Yeah. So give me 100 Thieves over EG in Thursday's game.
Like this is all I want people to do. 1.9. So just remember the odds of Cloud9, 1.9. See what it is actually on game day. I bet you it goes down to like 1.5, 1.4 for Cloud9, which generally just means that people are just putting their money on Cloud9 and the oddsmakers are trying to even out the odds.
But if that's
You-
the case, then that means Flyquest is going to be like 2 point something. Then I would just bet on Flyquest for a great underdog, quote unquote
Well,
underdog.
you
and
can
Well, then it
hedge it.
becomes an EV bet,
What- yeah,
right?
but then you
Where
can just
you're
hedge it.
actually
Then you-
right, yeah.
then you can just hedge
it's
it for, like,
EV,
free
and
money.
then you do right. Then you do like yeah. People don't understand EV betting though. So
Yeah, I've been teaching my chat. I've
they
been
don't
teaching them how
understand
to
that you
hedge.
can intentionally make bets that you don't think will happen because it's mathematically correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can also just hedge your bet to lock in winnings, where you, like if you have $100 on
Right,
something at 2.0 odds, and then
Right.
the odds on the other team live goes to 3. If you put 50 on the other, that means that you can't lose money, and you can only win money if the team you originally bet on win.
Right. So like for let's I mean we can make it simple for viewers really quickly. Like if you're playing like poker or something like that, and there's 8 cards in the deck that you need to hit on the river. Or like 4 cards in the deck that you need to hit on the river, and someone only you only need to bet $10 to win 1,000. Okay, your odds to hit those 4 or 8 cards is greater than the 10 into 1,000, and so you're incentivized to just bet the 10.
Let's see
There
if
you
we
go.
can calculate that percentage. Was it 4 divided by 52? Right, 4 divided by 52. So you have a 7% chance of winning. That bet, which is 10
but
for
it's
1,000, is
Not
1%.
actually 52 because there's going to be like cards on
Less
the
cards.
table. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
going to be cards on the table. You're going to have cards, so it'll be. But the point is that if you want to bet and you want to be serious about it, you have to like understand how odds work. You have to
Yes.
like. I read a fucking book. I read a book called The Logic of Sports Betting because I got a sponsorship and I knew I was going to be betting on stream and I wanted to know what the fuck was going on. I read a book, and they'll just explain to you what the odds come from. It's not teaching you how to win money betting. It's teaching you what you're actually fucking looking at, so you can make sense of it in your head.
Yes.
Yeah. So make sure to sign up after you do your own research and get educated on it. Again, thanks to our friends over at Esportsbet for their support of Facecheck. There's our picks, Cloud9 with some fantastic odds. And if you want a dog, look at the upset from 100 Thieves over Evil Geniuses. All right, short episode this week, y'all. We're going into LEC right now. Where else will everyone be finding you, Dom and LS?
I'm going right now. I'm gonna leave this second. I'm going to stream.
LS, what about you?
I'm gonna be live right now for LEC 2. Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
both these
Dom
guys
just
will
left.
be there.
All right,
Dom
it's
just
over.
left.
Dom's just fucking. He's just got. It's just you and me now, Degon.
Great. This is the show that we've always wanted to have. What are we naming this show?
I don't know.
We'll think about it and bring it up on
sounds
next
pretty
week's
gay, yeah.
Face Check. All right. Yeah. What does that sound like?
We're the only ones standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just putting the alphas in there. Alphas only.
Okay.
All
This
right,
is getting
guys.
too gay for me. I'm not gay.
Yeah. A lot of interviews on my channel this week. Make sure to go check it out. Make sure to head on over to the Esportsbet YouTube channel to catch this and more highlights across all of the episodes of Facecheck. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. See ya.